Pirates. Here we go, Brian Lewis. Yes, it's Halloween.
It's hot being Paul under the sweating.
That's where I wear a hat. And I think the next one up here would be Ian Murphy. And Ian Murphy doesn't look like this. This is a costume. He doesn't look like this. This is a great costume. And the next one up is Kate Brannon. Dressed as Kate Brannon. No, that's really cute. And the next one out is Mary Lee Shore. And these are the Air Pirates, and we are ready to begin War of the Worlds pirate style.
There hasn't been much change in temperature. The high for today is 66. The low remains at 48. There's a slight atmospheric disturbance of undetermined origin reported over Nova Scotia, causing a low pressure area to move down rather rapidly over the northeastern United States, bringing a forecast of rain accompanied by a light gale force wind. This weather report comes to you from the WDBQ Weather Center. My name is Freddie the D. We now take you to the pavilion in the beautiful village of Sugarloaf, where I'll be spinning the greatest hits of all time on your golden oldies hour. Now, coming to you from high atop the Hudson Valley, you can hear one of the great tunes from my personal favorites, The Byrds. This is Freddie the D.
Woke up this morning with light in my eyes, and then realized it was still dark outside. It was a light coming down from the sky. I don't know who or why. Must be those.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fred Dana at News Central. Now we're interrupting our program, Your Golden Oldies Hour, to bring you a special bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. At 20 minutes before 8 o'clock Eastern Time, there was an explosion of undetermined origin reported in southern New York State. At this time, we have no further information, but we'll keep you updated as details come into this newsroom. We now return you to the pavilion at the Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center in the beautiful village of Sugarloaf, where Freddie the D is spinning the greatest hits of all time on your Golden Oldies Hour.
And now a tune that I never get tired of, a song that stays with you wherever you go. You guessed it, Freddie the D fave, Creedence Clearwater's Bad Moon Rising.
This is Fred Dana of News Central. We're interrupting our scheduled program for breaking news. Professor Farrell of the Mount Jennings Observatory in Chicago has reported that he's observed several explosions of incandescent gas occurring at regular intervals on the planet Mars. These may be similar to the explosion that was reported earlier in southern New York State. The spectroscope indicates that the gas is hydrogen and moving towards the Earth with enormous velocity. Professor Pearson of the Princeton Observatory at Princeton University in Princeton confirms Farrell's observation and describes the phenomenon as, quote, like a jet of blue flame shot from a gun, unquote. We now return you to the Royal Pavilion at the Sugarloaf Pack in the beautiful village of Sugarloaf, where Freddie the D is spinning the greatest hits of all time on your Golden Oldies Hour.
Now that was Creedence Clearwater's all-time great Bad Moon Rising. Now, from your Golden Oldies Hour here at the Pavilion, another classic, Rocket Man by Sir Elton John.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Fred Dana once again interrupting from News Central. The following report comes from our co-anchor, Dana Fredericks. Dana.
Fred, the Government Meteorological Bureau has requested the large observatories of the country to keep an astronomical watch on any further disturbances occurring on the planet Mars. Due to the unusual nature of this occurrence, we have arranged an interview with noted astronomer Professor Pearson, who will give us his views on the event. In a few moments, we will take you to the Princeton Observatory at Princeton University in Princeton, New Jersey. Until then, we return you to the pavilion at the Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center in the beautiful village of Sugarloaf, where our own Freddie the D is spinning the greatest hits of all time on your Golden Oldies Hour.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. We'll touch down, Princeton, I'm here to find. I'm not the man that think I am at home. Oh, no, no, no. I'm a rockin' man, burning out his fuse out very long.
Well, I sure hope everyone is enjoying their evening of the greatest hits here at the Pavilion in Sugarloaf. Now, on your Golden Oldies Hour, one of the all-time greats, Space Oddity by David Bowie.
Okay, now we're ready to take you to the Princeton Observatory in Princeton, New Jersey, at Princeton University, where Dana Fredericks, our commentator, will interview Professor Richard Pearson, the famous astronomer. We take you now to Princeton, New Jersey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dana Fredericks speaking to you from the Princeton Observatory at Princeton University in Princeton, New Jersey. I am standing in a large semicircular room, pitch black, except for an oblong split in the ceiling. Through this opening, I can see a sprinkling of stars that cast a kind of frosty glow over the intricate mechanism of the huge telescope. The ticking sound you hear is the vibration of the clockwork. Professor Pearson stands directly above me on a small platform, peering through a giant lens. I ask you to be patient, ladies and gentlemen, because of any delay that may arise during our interview. Besides his ceaseless watch of the heavens, Professor Pearson may be interrupted by telephone or other communications. During this period, he is in constant touch with the astronomical centers of the world. Professor, may I begin our questions?
Oh, any time, Miss Fredericks.
Professor, would you please tell our radio audience exactly what you see as you observe the planet Mars through your telescope?
There's nothing unusual at the moment. It's a red disk swimming in a blue sea. Transverse stripes across the disk. Very distinct now because Mars happens to be the point nearest the Earth. We call it in opposition.
In your opinion, what do these transverse stripes signify, Professor Pearson?
Not the canals of popular conjecture by those who imagine Mars to be inhabited. From a scientific viewpoint, the stripes are merely the result of atmospheric conditions peculiar to the planet.
Then, you're quite convinced, as a scientist, that living intelligence, as we know it, does not exist on Mars?
As a scientist, I'll say the chances against it are 1,000 to 1. Life on Mars is utterly ridiculous.
And yet, how do you account for those gas eruptions occurring on the surface of the planet at regular intervals?
I cannot account for those eruptions.
Aha, well. And by the way, Professor, for the benefit of our listeners, how far is Mars from the Earth?
Oh, about 40 million miles.
Well, that seems a safe enough distance. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, someone has just handed Professor Pearson a message. While he reads it, let me remind you, we are speaking to you from the Princeton Observatory at Princeton University in Princeton, New Jersey, where we are interviewing the world-famous astronomer, Professor Pearson. Oh, one moment, please. Professor Pearson has passed me the message which he has just received. Professor, may I read the message to our listening audience?
Of course, Miss Fredericks.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall read you a wire addressed to Professor Pearson from Dr. Gray of the National History Museum, New York. 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Seismograph. Registered shock of almost earthquake intensity occurring in upstate New York. Signed, Lloyd Gray, Chief of Astronomical Division. Professor Pearson, could this occurrence possibly have something to do with the disturbances observed on the planet Mars?
Oh, hardly. This is probably a meteorite of unusual size, and its arrival at this particular time is just a coincidence. We'll conduct a search as soon as daylight permits.
Thank you, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past 10 minutes, we've been speaking to you from the Princeton Observatory at Princeton University in Princeton, New Jersey, bringing you a special interview with Professor Pearson, noted astronomer. This is Dana Fredericks speaking. We now return you to our studio at WTBQ.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our in-depth coverage of
Space Invaders, a search for life.
Here is the latest bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. Toronto, Canada. Professor Morse of McGill University reports observing a total of 3 explosions on the planet Mars between the hours of 6:45 p.m. and 8:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This confirms earlier reports received from American observatories. Now, nearer to home, there's a special announcement from Albany, New York. It's reported that at 7:50 p.m., a huge flaming object believed to have been a meteorite fell on a farm in the neighborhood of Pine Bush, New York. The flash in the sky was visible within a radius of several hundred miles, and the noise of the impact was heard as far east as Beacon and as far south as Sloatsburg. We've dispatched a special mobile unit to the scene. We'll have our reporter, Federico Donaldo, live as soon as he can reach the site in Pine Bush. Are you? Okay, all right. We take you now to Pine Bush, New York.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Federico Donaldo at the Wilmot Farm in Pine Bush. I hardly know where to begin to paint for you a word picture of the strange scene before my eyes. It is something out of a modern Arabian Nights. Well, I have just got here, and I haven't had a chance to look around yet. I guess that's it. Jess, I guess that is the thing. Directly in front of me, half buried in a vast pit, must have struck with terrible force. The ground is covered with splinters of a tree it must have struck on its way down. What I can see of the object doesn't appear or look much very like a meteor. At least not the meteors I have seen. It looks more like a huge cylinder. It has a diameter of about 30 yards. The metal on the sheet is, well, I have never seen anything like it. The color is a sort of yellowish white. Curious spectators now are pressing close to the object in spite of the efforts of the police to keep them back. They're getting in front of my line of vision. Would you mind stepping to one side, please?
One side there, more side, let him through.
While the policemen are pushing the crowd back, here is Mrs. Wilmot, owner of the farm. She may have some interesting facts to add. Mrs. Wilmot, would you please tell the radio audience as much as you remember about the rather unusual visitor that dropped into your yard last night? Step closer, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mrs. Wilmot.
Well, I was listening to the radio.
Closer and louder, please.
Pardon me?
Louder, please, and closer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was listening to the radio and kind of drowsing, and that professor fella was talking about Mars. So I was half dozing, and I was
Jess, Mrs. Wilmot. And then what happened?
As I was saying, I was listening to the radio, halfway kind of.
Jess, Mrs. Wilmot. And then you saw something.
No, not first off. I heard something.
And what did you hear?
A hissing sound. Like this. You know, kind of like a 4th of July rocket.
Yes, and then what?
I turned my head to look out the window. I would have swore I was to sleep and dreaming.
And then what?
I seen a kind of greenish streak, and then zingo! Something smacked the ground and knocked me clear out of my chair.
Well, weren't you frightened, Mrs. Wilmot?
Well, I ain't quite sure. I reckon I was kind of riled.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Wilmot, thank you.
You want me to tell you some more?
No. That is quite all right, that is plenty. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just heard Mrs. Wilmot, owner of the farm where the thing has fallen. I wish I could convey the atmosphere, the background of this fantastic scene. Hundreds of cars are parked in the field in back of us. Police are trying to rope off the roadway leading to the farm, but it's of no use. They're breaking right through. Cars' headlights throw an enormous spot on the pit where the object is half buried. Some of the more daring souls are now venturing near the edge. Their silhouettes stand out against the metal shield. One man wants to touch the thing. He's having an argument with the policeman. The policeman leaves. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's something I haven't mentioned in all this excitement, but now it's becoming more distinct. Perhaps you've got it already on your radio. Listen. Don't you hear it? It's the curious humming sound that comes from within the object. I will move the microphone closer. Now, we're not more than 25 feet away. Can't you hear it now? It's changed a bit. Now, there's a bit of a scraping noise inside the thing. Possibly the unequal cooling of the surface. I don't know what to think. The metal casing is definitely extraterrestrial, not found on this Earth. Friction from the Earth's atmosphere usually tears holes in the meteorite. This thing is smooth and of cylindrical shape. Just a minute. Something is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific. The end of the thing is beginning to flake off. The top is beginning to rotate like a screw. The thing must be hollow.
Oh, Royals, aren't they unscrewed?
It's moving! It's moving!
Where's coming out of there?
Get back! It's coming hot! No!
Ugly.
She's off. Oh, the top is loose.
Stand there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrifying thing I have ever witnessed. Wait a minute. Something is crawling out of the hollow top. Someone or something. Something. I can see it peering out of that black hole. 2 luminous discs. Are those eyes? It might be a face, it might be. Good heavens! Something's wriggling out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one, and another. They look like tentacles to me. There, I can see the thing's body. It's large as a bear, and it glistens like wet leather. But that face, ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. The eyes are black and gleam like a serpent. The mouth is V-shaped, with saliva dripping from its rimless lips that seem to quiver and pulsate. The monster, or whatever it is, can hardly move. It seems weighed down by possibly gravity or something. The thing raising up. The crowd falls back now. They've seen plenty. This is a most extraordinary experience. I can't find words. I'll pull this microphone with me as I talk. I'll have to stop the description until I can take a new position. Hold on, would you please? I'll be right back in a moment.
And it's the commercial. commercials. All proceeds from tonight's commercials went toward posting Brian's bail.
Me, me, me. Okay, everybody. All right, let's go. Are we ready? And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Stop, cut. Oh, we're terrible. We aren't together at all. No, we just aren't a team.
Weiner T-shirts to the rescue! Put these on! I got us matching T-shirts from Weiner T-shirts. Now we've got the look. Can you feel it? Hallelujah! 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 Weiner T-shirts from 211 East Middletown. Put your name on somebody. Oh, jeez, this is another busy night.
So, what'll it be there, fella?
I want a beer.
Well, what do you want?
Well, what do you have?
Well, I got the Keegan Black IPA, Chimay Belgian Triple, Left Hand Milk Stout, Peak Organic Vice Principal, Dogfish Head, 90 Minute. What do you take?
One of each.
Very well. Nanny's Roadhouse. Good food, good drink. 18 Main Street, Warwick, New York.
I know you're concerned about risk management regarding your business. I think first we should talk about a possible term policy. I mean, the liability in this can be high, but the dividends can be rolled over to the future policy. Taking undue risk, and you have to consider the cost factors for workers' comp, slip and fall, and flood, natural, unnatural disasters. Now, actually, God, we don't cover, but I think I can reduce your current auto insurance premium.
Not understanding what your agent is saying? You think your agent may be overselling? You feel like just another policy? Not at F.A. Scott. F.A. Scott treats you as an individual, understanding your needs, and they're always there when you need them. F.A. Scott, protecting your assets, like their own. F.A. Scott Insurance, Goshen, New York.
Hey, have you seen my car keys, dear?
What?
I said, have you seen my car keys?
Monkeys? What do you want with monkeys?
Monkey? I'm not being funky. I want the car keys.
Marquee? Like the movie? I don't know what you're talking about.
What? Walkabout? What do I look like, an aborigine? I want the car keys.
Did you say you'll hurt your knee?
What?
Why didn't you say so? You can't walk. Take the car keys. What's the matter? Can't you hear?
If you, or if someone you know, just isn't getting it, maybe it's time to have a hearing specialist check it out. AVC Hearing Aid Center experts can help. Free exams are available in both locations, 5109 Route 9W Newburgh, 22 Mulberry Street, Middletown.
You never listen when I'm talking to you.
What? Hey, dude. What are you doing, man?
I'm on the net, dude. I'm being social.
Dude, nice, dude. Can we make, like, money being social?
Yeah, right here at Stone Barn Marketing, dude.
Dude. Stone Barn Marketing, dude.
Say it again.
Dude.
And we're back. We're bringing you an eyewitness account of what's happening on the Wilmuth Farm in Pine Bush, New York. We now return you to Federico Denoldi in Pine Bush.
Ladies and gentlemen, am I on? Ladies and gentlemen, here I am, back of a stone wall that adjoins Mrs. Wilmot's farm. From here, I get a sweep of the whole scene. I'll give you every detail as long as I can talk, as long as I can see. More state police have arrived. They're drawing a cordon up in front of the pit, about 30 of them. No need to push the crowd back now. They are willing to keep their distance. The captain is conferring with someone. We can't quite see who. Oh, Chess, someone in uniform. It appears to be someone from Stewart Air Force Base. He is now moving around one side, studying the object. The captain and 2 policemen advance with something in their hands. I can see it now. It's a white handkerchief tied to a pole. A flag of truce. If these creatures know what that means, what anything means,
Wait, something is happening. A hot shape is rising out of the pit. I can make out a small beam of light against the mirror. What's that? That's a jet of flame spraying from the mirror, and it leaps right at the advancing men. It takes them head on. Good Lord, they've turned into flame. Now the whole field's on fire. The woods, the barn, the gas tanks of automobiles. It's spreading everywhere. It's coming this way, about 20 yards to my right.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to technical difficulties, we're unable to continue our broadcast from Pine Bush. Evidently, there's been some difficulty with our field transmission. However, we'll return to that point at the earliest opportunity. In the meantime, we have a late bulletin from San Diego. Professor Indelkoffer, speaking at a dinner of the California Astronomical Society, expressed the opinion that the explosions on Mars are undoubtedly nothing more than severe volcanic disturbances on the surface of the planet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've just been handed a message that came in from Pine Bush by telephone. Just a moment. Oh, at least 40 people, including 6 state troopers, lie dead in a field in the Pine Bush area. Their bodies are burned and distorted beyond any hope of recognition. Now, the next voice that you hear will be that of Lieutenant Governor Isabel DeLuca.
I've been requested by the governor of New York to place the counties of Orange and Sullivan as far west as Port Jervis and east to Newburgh under martial law. No one will be permitted to enter this area except by special pass issued by state or military authorities. For companies, National Guard are proceeding from Albany to Pine Bush and will aid in the evacuation of homes within the range of military operations. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You've been listening to Lieutenant Governor DeLuca, live from Albany. Now, in the meantime, further details of the catastrophe at Pine Bush are coming in. The strange creatures, after unleashing their deadly assault, crawled back into their pit and made no attempt to prevent the efforts of the firemen to recover the bodies and extinguish the fire. The combined fire departments of Middletown, Pine Bush, and Circleville are fighting the flames which menace the entire countryside. We've been able to establish any contact with our mobile unit in Pine Bush at this time, but we hope to be able to return you there at the earliest possible moment. In the meantime, we take you... just a moment, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that we have finally established communication with an eyewitness of the tragedy. Dexter Llewellyn, a local scientist and an adjunct instructor at SUNY Orange, has been located at the Cup and Saucer Diner near Pine Bush, where he has established an emergency observation post. As a scientist, he will give you his explanation of the calamity. The next voice that you hear will be that of Dexter Llewellyn.
Well, of the creatures in the space rocket cylinder in Pine Bush, I can give you no authoritative information either to their nature, their origin, or their purposes here on Earth. Of their destructive instrument, I might venture some conceptual explanation. As for what ought to be a better term, I shall refer to a mysterious weapon as a heat ray. It's all too evident that these creatures have scientific knowledge far in advance of our own. It is my guess that in some way they are able to generate an intense heat in the chamber as practically absolute non-conductivity. This intense heat they project in a parallel beam against any object they choose by means of a polished parabolic mirror of unknown composition. Much like the mirror of a lighthouse projects the beam of light. That is my conjecture as to the origin of the heat ray.
Thank you, Mr. Llewellyn. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, here's a bulletin from Albany. It's a brief statement. Apparently, the charred body of Federico Donaldo has been identified in Middletown Hospital. Oh, and now here's another bulletin from Washington, D.C. Office of the Director of the National Red Cross reports 10 units of Red Cross emergency workers have been assigned to the headquarters of the National Guard, stationed outside Pine Bush, New York. And here's a bulletin from State Police, Monroe headquarters. The fires at Pine Bush and vicinity are now under control. Scouts report all quiet in the pit, and no sign of life appearing from the mouth of the cylinder. Oh, and now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special statement from Mr. Frank Truitt, owner and manager of WTBQ Radio.
We have received a request from the National Guard to place at their disposal our entire broadcasting facilities. In view of the gravity of the situation and believing that radio has a responsibility to serve the public interest at all times, we are turning over our facilities to the National Guard in Albany. We take you now to the field headquarters of the National Guard in Pine Bush, New York, and our own embedded reporter, Donna Frederico.
This is Donna Frederico, embedded with the Signal Corps, attached to the state militia, now engaged in military operations in the vicinity of Pine Bush. Situation arising from the reported presence of certain individuals of unidentified nature is now under complete control. The cylindrical object, which lies in a pit directly below our position, is surrounded on all sides by 8 battalions of infantry without heavy field pieces, but adequately armed with rifles and machine guns. All cause for alarm, if such cause ever existed, is now entirely unjustified. The things, whatever they are, do not even venture to poke their heads above the pit. I can see their hiding place plainly in the glare of the searchlights here. With all their reported resources, these creatures can scarcely stand up against heavy machine gun fire. Anyway, it's an interesting outing for the troops. I can make out their khaki uniforms crossing back and forth in front of the lights. It almost looks like a real war. There appears to be some slight smoke in the woods bordering on the Wallkill River. Probably fire started by campers. Well, we ought to see some action soon. One of the companies is deploying on the left flank. A quick thrust and it will all be over. Now wait a minute. Yes, I see something on top of the cylinder. No, it's nothing but a shadow. Now the troops are on the edge of the Wilmuth farm. 7,000 armed men closing in on an old metal tube. Wait, that wasn't a shadow. Well, now it is something moving, solid metal, kind of a sheath-like affair rising up out of the cylinder. It's going higher and higher. Why, it's standing on legs, actually rearing up on some sort of metal framework. Now it's reaching above the trees and the searchlights are on it. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dana Fredericks, back in the studios of WTBQ Radio. I have a grave announcement to make. Incredible as it may seem, both the observations of science and the evidence of our eyes lead to the inescapable assumption that those strange beings who landed in the New York farmlands tonight are the vanguard of an invading army from the planet Mars. The battle which took place tonight in Pine Bush has ended in one of the most startling defeats ever suffered by any army in modern times. 7,000 men armed with rifles and machine guns pitted against a single fighting machine of the invaders from Mars. 120 known survivors. The rest are strewn over the battle area from Pine Bush to Bloomingburg, crushed and trampled to death under the metal feet of the monster, or burned to cinders by its heat ray. The monster is now in control of the middle section of the Hudson Valley and has effectively cut the county through its center. Communication lines are down from Albany to Manhattan. Railroad tracks are torn. Service from New York is discontinued, except for routing some of the trains through Beacon to Kingston. Highways to the north, south, and west are clogged with frantic human traffic. Police and Army reserves are unable to control the mad flight. By morning, the fugitives will have swelled Albany to the north Manhattan and New Jersey to the south, it is estimated to twice their normal population. At this time, martial law prevails throughout New York and now eastern Pennsylvania. We take you now to Washington, D.C. for a special broadcast on the national emergency. Here is the Secretary of the Interior.
Citizens of the nation, I shall not try to conceal the gravity of the situation that confronts the country, nor the concern of your government in protecting the lives and property of its people. However, I wish to impress upon you, private citizens and public officials, all of you, the urgent need of calm and resourceful action. Fortunately, this formidable enemy is still confined to a comparatively small area, and we may place our faith in the military forces to keep them there. In the meantime, placing our faith in God, we must continue the performance of our duties, each and every one of us, so that we may confront this destructive adversary with a nation united, courageous, and consecrated to the preservation of human supremacy on this earth. Thank you.
We thank you. You have just heard the Secretary of the Interior speaking from Washington. Bulletins, too numerous to read, are piling up in the studio here now. We are informed the central portion of Orange County and portions of Sullivan are blacked out from radio communication due to the effect of the heat ray upon power lines and electrical equipment. Oh, here's a special bulletin from New York. Cables received from English, French, German scientific bodies offer assistance. Astronomers report continued gas outbursts at regular intervals on planet Mars. The majority voiced the opinion that the enemy will be reinforced by additional rocket machines. From Langham, Virginia, scouting planes report 3 Martian machines visible above treetops, moving north toward Washington, D.C., with the population fleeing ahead of them. Heat ray not in use. Although advancing at express train speed, invaders pick their way carefully. They seem to be making a conscious effort to avoid destruction of cities in the countryside. However, they stop to uproot power lines, bridges, and railroad tracks. Their apparent objective is to crush resistance, paralyze communication, and disorganize human society. And here's a bulletin from Monticello, New York.
This is embedded reporter Donna Frederico, just outside Monticello. Coon hunters have stumbled upon a second cylinder similar to the first embedded in the Great Swamp, 20 miles south of Morristown. Army field pieces are proceeding from Liberty to blow up second invading unit before cylinder can be opened and the fighting machine raped. They are taking up position in the foothills of the Shawangunk Mountains. Another bulletin from Langham, Virginia. Scouting planes report enemy machines, now 3 in number, increasing speed northward, kicking over houses and trees in their evident haste to form a conjunction with their allies. Machines also sighted by telephone operator east of Walden, within 10 miles of Montgomery. Here's a bulletin from Winston Field, Long Island. Fleet of Army bombers carrying heavy explosives flying north in pursuit of enemy. Scouting planes act as guides. They keep speeding enemy in sight. Just a moment, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we've run special wires to the artillery lines in adjacent villages to give you direct reports in the zone of advancing enemy. First, we take you to the battery of 22nd Field Artillery located in the Shawangunks for a rare look at the action as it is happening.
Range 32 meters.
32 meters.
Projection 39 degrees.
39 degrees.
Fire!
140 yards to the right, sir.
Shift range 31 meters.
31 meters.
Projection 37 degrees.
37 degrees.
Fire!
Oh, it's a hit, sir. We got the tripod of one of them. They stopped. The others are trying to repair it.
Quick, get the range. Shift 30 meters.
30 meters.
Projection 27 degrees.
27 degrees.
Fire!
I couldn't see the shell land, sir. They're letting off smoke.
What is it?
It's a black smoke, sir. It's moving this way, lying close to the ground. It's moving fast.
Put on gas masks. Get ready to fire. Shift 24 meters. 24 meters. Projection 24 degrees. 24 degrees. Fire.
Well, I still can't see, sir. The smoke is getting nearer.
Get the range.
23 meters.
23 meters. 20 meters. Projection 22 degrees.
22 degrees.
22.
Boy, I wish I were in an airplane, man. Oh, there. Army bombing plane BA-43 off Hudson River. Lieutenant Vogt, commanding 8 bombers, reporting to Commander Fairfax, Langham Field. This is Vogt, reporting to Commander Fairfax, Langham Field. Enemy tripod machines are now in sight, reinforced by 3 machines from the Monticello cylinder. 6 altogether. 1 machine is already crippled. Believed hit by shell from Army gun in Shawangunk Mountains. Guns now appear silent. A heavy black fog is hanging close to the earth, of extreme density, nature unknown. No sign of heat ray. The enemy now turns east, crossing Hudson into Ulster County. Another straddles the Beacon Newburgh Bridge. Evident objective, New York City. They're pushing down a high-tension power station. These machines are close together now, and we're ready to attack. The planes are circling and ready to strike. 1,000 yards will be over the first 800 yards, 600, 400, 200. There they go! The giant arm is raised! Heat ray? Okay. Green flash! They're spraying us with flame! 2,000 feet! Our engines are giving out! There's no chance to release the bombs! Only one thing is left! We'll drop on them, plane and all! We're diving on the first one! The engine's gone! Hey!
This is Stewart Air Base calling Langham Field. This is Stewart Air Base calling Langham Field. Come in, please.
This is Langham Field. Go ahead, Stewart.
8 Army bombers in engagement with enemy tripod machines over Hudson Valley. Engines incapacitated by heat ray. All crashed. 1 enemy machine destroyed. Enemy now discharging heavy black smoke in the direction of...
This is Beacon, New York. This is Beacon, New York. Warning, warning, Warsons. Black smoke pouring in from the Hudson River reaches South Street. Gas masks useless. Urge population move into open spaces. Automobiles use routes 9, 23, 24. Avoid congested areas. Smoke now spreading over Highway Route 9W.
2X2L calling CQ. 2X2L calling CQ. 2X2L calling 8X3R. Come in, please.
This is 8X3R. Coming back at 2X2L.
How is reception? How is reception? Hey, please. Where are you? 8X3R. What's the matter? Where are you?
Okay, trick or treat. The treat is it's a commercial break, and the trick is there'll be more show after.
I need to meet some new customers.
Hey, we haven't had anyone new in here in a long time.
We do good work. How come no one knows about us?
Gotta get the word out.
How?
What if there was a place where I could tell people what we do, and
Yeah.
then they can tell others, and they can tell others, and so on, and so on, and so on.
There is the Business Exchange Network. Meets once a week. All we do is share leads and help each other find new customers. Nothing works better than a recommendation from your peers. Visit www.bizxnet.com for more information. Or better yet, come join us for a networking breakfast.
Hey, Joe Bella.
What, are you talking to me?
What's it to you?
You got something to say? Come over here, say it to my face.
All right. Joe Bella.
You can't talk to me that way. You want I should deck you right here.
Whoa, whoa, don't get mad so fast. Ease up, pal. It's a restaurant.
What is a restaurant? What do they serve?
Hey, you know Italian specialties. Spaghetti, pizza,
They deliver.
gravy. Sure, they got takeout too.
That sounds good. Where's it located?
Joe Bella's on Kings Highway in Warwick next to the Jiffy Stop.
Hey, Joe Bella!
Hey, are you talking to me?
Ah, yes. I can see your future right here in the cards. You will become the king of China right after you have sailed to the farthest reaches of the earth. Ah, the tea leaves say you will meet many women because you are wealthy. And your palm says you will have a life of leisure with servants and, ooh, a yacht. And wait, oh wait.
You can rely on a fortune teller to predict your future, or you can learn how to take control and find the genius within. With Beyond Rubies as your guide, you can become far more than you are. Beyond Rubies can help your staff to look beyond their potential. Even if you are content with the way things are, Beyond Rubies can help find new ways to make sure this never changes and prepare you for the future. So, contact Maria Vega Byrne at Beyond Rubies, 55 Main Street in Washingtonville.
And wait, your lottery numbers are 12, 4, 9, 27, and 16, and woo! I am sorry, we are out of time. Come back next week, and my crystal ball will be back from the shop, and we can get a better reading.
Sugar and spice and everything nice.
Hey, this looks kind of good. It's all the best stuff. It's so good, someone should use it for a recipe. Oh, not a bad idea. I bet that would sell. I wonder who came up with this great idea.
Bixby bars.
Bixby bars.
Look, it says right here it's a combination of chocolate and fruit and nuts and spice.
Oh. Hey, let me try that.
No.
Whoa! This is so good! I'm gonna have another one.
No, wait a minute. No, that's mine.
Another one?
You can't give me that. No, you can't.
Yep, sugar and spice, everything nice. That's what little girls are made of. But give them a Bixby bar and all bets are off. Try a Bixby bar. It's available in retail shops in the metropolitan area. Pick one up right here or try a sample. Bixby bars for the nuts and spice in all of us. Look at here. I'm getting the hits.
Hits, dude. I gotta get these hits.
No, easy. Dude, you hook up with Stone Barn Marketing. This dude can increase social activity, dude.
I get it, dude. More hits, more business, dude. Stone Barn Marketing rocks, dude. Dude.
Now it's intermission. As you peruse the snacks, remember the Air Pirates intermission policy. If you contract food poisoning, the price of your snack will be partially refunded. We'll see you in 15 minutes.
This concludes our Air Pirates Radio presentation of War